What is going on, guys? Welcome back. You guys know by now, more than 2 videos in a day. One of them is going to be an investing video. If you haven't watched the community tab, I talk about my investing there a lot. It's been slow. I've been a little bit leery to put money into the market, and I still am. I feel like in June, we're going to have a reality check coming our way. But as you can see for right now, best week I've ever had, up $3,000, 10%. I do also want to let you guys know I'm a Webull preferred influencer. Use that link down in the description. And this is the best time that you guys seem to interact with that, when it's a free share just for signing up. When you have to deposit, a lot of you don't. But right now, you go over there, use the link, you'll get a free share just for joining. If you deposit more than $100, you'll get a share valued at, I think, at least 8. You've seen me pull some big names. Snapchat, Legal and Pharma I pulled that I sold for like $220. So there's some good value there. Speaking of good value, it really depends on what you are doing as an investor, what you see in the market, and what your goals are. To me, good value here has been with CCIV, Lucid Motors, NIO, Tesla, Lee. Bought a lot, guys. There's $8,500 on a good day, $9,000 on a good day, maybe $6,000, $7,000 on a bad day sitting in front of you. You might not have that same resolve. This might not be what you want to do. And that's why I want to talk about understanding your investments, knowing what you're buying. You know, JMac Investing, friend of mine, he's actually had me on his channel. I featured his channel on mine. You know, he was talking about Lordstown Motors. I don't think he ever actually bought in. I know Mike Pence was out at one of these rallies. A lot of people bought into this. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you can see now a short sell report, fake orders, production hurdles, and a prototype that actually burst into flames. You know, these are the things that you hear about afterwards, right? They've got a great ticker symbol, by the way. They had perhaps a great ticker symbol in RIDE, but you can see 10 minutes into the test drive on it, essentially what they made was a skateboard. It's an EV skateboard that they could put anything they wanted on. They chose a modified Silverado. You can probably go Google or search on YouTube Lordstown Motors and see this thing. As I said, Mike Pence was out there. They're proclaiming this the American EV play. They love to pull at those heartstrings when they can, let me tell you. But all of a sudden, you know, we're starting to see some realities about what isn't actually factual with this company. And that's why it's so amazing to me. Stock Mo, a guy that I really watch every single day. Him and Joseph Hogue are really guys I put a lot of trust into. I see him come out today and he talks about, you know, a massive opportunity for Skills and DraftKings, but also there you see Ride and Workhorse. You know, he's talking about here having an opportunity to go into Lordstown Motors on this EV dip, and he might not be fully aware of the short sell report, right? But if you just watch everyone, right, and you take everyone's opinion as fact, and you don't let things play out, you don't do your own research, you don't pay attention to your own due diligence, you don't understand what someone's goals and aspirations are as an investor, you don't understand that you have people on YouTube making tens of hundreds of $1,000s that they can put into an account for themselves and not have the same stress you do if it's your paycheck. That's what you need to be cognizant of. Don't just copy and paste someone. Don't EA it, if you will. Don't EA someone's investing plan. Don't think that my goals and your goals are the same. They're probably not. Don't think that your risk assessment is the same as mine. I guarantee you it's not. So when you take a look at what's happened here, this is, in my opinion, very similar to what we saw with Nikola Motors, which, full disclosure, you guys probably remember I bought into, I sold out of. And I still have shares. I like to play the SPACs that way. I like to buy in early. I like to sell at a fair price, back my initial investment, and then I'll hold the rest, just as free shares. And if they go to $1 million, if they go to a penny, I don't care, because essentially they're already covered on my end. I don't get into warrants. I don't get into anything else like that. I probably should. I probably make a lot more money than $10,000 in a week. But I don't. It's not something I have time for. Might regret that later in life, but for right now, this is what I do. Primarily dividend invest, take the dividends, put them into growth stocks. Now, lately, when I see an opportunity, like I did with the EV market on that huge pullback, then I'll load the boat. I'm not afraid to do that, as long as I have trust and convictions in the stocks that I'm buying. No matter what the price is, or no matter what someone tells you the price will be, go to TipRanks, take all the averages you want. The only average that matters is your average dollar cost and what you feel the stock is worth. It's the only thing that matters. Don't let anybody tell you any differently. If you make a value assessment and you want to go with it, then go with it. And be prepared for better or worse. This just happens to be the worse. And thankfully, in this community, the worst gets talked about, right? There's plenty of bests, right? People this year. I mean, look at the way people made money with GameStop, Nokia, AMC, right? We know the best. You also need to focus on the worst, like executives that have unloaded $28 million in their own stock, while companies like GM and your average investor pour into this thing. And I'm not saying anybody that did that was wrong. They had their own conviction. They had their own concepts. They had their own ideology. And I hope that they felt good about what they were investing in. I wish things would turn out differently, because these are the stories that tarnish the market as a whole and scare off investors altogether. But I will say one thing I am looking at right now is, again, 5-10 years ahead. You know, we just went out of an extended period of being indoors. I'm sure there's some children that need to be born. I'm sure there's some people that wanted to buy homes a couple years ago, and now they have the means to do so since they've saved. I'm sure they're tired of being in that apartment, that townhouse, wherever they are. And I have a feeling at some point you're going to see a big push in terms of going out and getting real estate. Now, how that affects a company like Zillow, which, to be fair, I didn't have any faith in. I didn't believe in Zillow at all. I wish I did, looking at where they've went, right? But I certainly want to look at how I can take advantage of all the mortgage financing that's going to happen, whether that's a company like Rocket, whether that's actually going out and dealing direct with lenders. There's money to be made and opportunities to be had if you have the foresight to think about what's going to happen down the road. Love to know your guys' thoughts on this, though. Appreciate you checking out, and you know I will be back in the week with more commentary.